Ooh, that's live. It says event is starting, but I think that means it's started.
Ooh.
Does it sound different in this room? Does it sound like this is coming through different types of different? Oh, it's because we're in Texas.
We're in Texas right now.
Can they see that?
Can they? The cow? No.
Oh.
They can't see the
Does
cow.
this look
the
like-
full cow. Does this look like Texas?
Does
this look like Texas?
There's a full cow skeleton. Like you think it
On
would
the
just be
wall.
the bull head, but it goes all
It's-
the way up.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's been a wonderful time here in Austin, Texas. The guys, thank you so much for joining us for a very special edition of Here's What Matters. We usually do this segment on our live show on Twitch.
Oh, hold on.
Thursdays, 4
hold on.
p.m. PST.
Just in case.
Twitch.tv/PlayNoggin. In case you needed it.
In case you need it. Yeah. Just in case.
Oh,
case.
there you go. Good call.
Yeah. So, like
yeah.
you said, we normally do this live on Twitch, but we're in Austin, so we can't do it live on Twitch. We can do it live on our Patreon, and then this video will go up.
But you guys are missing out if you're not part of the Patreon because we get to have a wonderful community of individuals who join us, and then we have chit chats.
Individuals. Who we got over here?
Danny Boy, who's on his way to Austin as we speak.
I hope you're not watching this while you drive.
Don't you dare. I know he's going to be heading to Fantastic Fest, and hopefully you guys are able to join us. Or if you're watching this later, we're going to have a meetup on Sunday. So keep an eye on our Twitters for all that information. But there's a lot of superhero news, a lot of nerdy news that we wanted to talk about. We didn't want to miss out on. We didn't want to wait a whole dang week because we got a brand new trailer for the next solo MCU movie for a wonderful character near and dear to many people's hearts.
Yeah, so you want to just dive right in?
Let's dive on in.
So,
First up, that beautiful gentleman.
No. So we've got this new trailer. And in case you were like, hey, I wonder when this movie takes place, hold on. Here it comes. Blockbuster.
So, the 90s. We're talking about Captain Marvel.
How did you feel about I wondered if maybe the Blockbuster thing was too much for me.
Then you don't understand what people want.
But that's probably true. That's probably true.
Two things from their 90s movies. Ready? What are they?
What are the
first
two things?
Blockbuster. Second
Yes.
thing, holstered beepers. That's what we wanted. They're very important. But let's talk about the trailer because what did we think overall? Because I enjoyed it, but I got a few nitpicks because I'm an adult man talking about superheroes on the internet.
So we have to have opinions.
And I'm entitled about it.
Darn it. I enjoyed it. It had a lot of fun, cool elements. It had a cool tone and texture to it that I think it didn't straight up necessarily feel like a Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of Marvel movie trailers feel like Marvel movies.
Yes. Joke.
Yeah, and this one had kind of a different vibe. If I'm getting into my concerns, I like the action. I like the way there's some match cut elements in here that I think are cool. It's got a cool the tone that's not totally based on nostalgia that I think is really cool. A lot of the design stuff is really cool. Some of my concerns are that did it just straight go to that? Cool. That's great. That's a spoilers for later in the video.
Scary, man.
Yeah. So,
but your concerns?
My concerns are, one, I feel like they talked about them changing her origin because it was too similar to Green Lantern, and now I'm confused as to what I feel like it might be too complicated now because it is a mystery. She's been off-world clearly, and she has she doesn't know she's from Earth. Mm-hmm. And she's
like that
learning
idea.
that. I don't know. I feel like it might be too close to Star-Lord because he also was abducted and got to hang out with aliens. And two, it might be too complicated.
I think it's. I don't think it's too complicated because it kind of sounds like Anastasia, the idea of someone who came from humble beginnings and then found out what their secret origin is, what they actually are. There are similarities.
Except reverse. You came from the cool thing, and now you're finding out you're actually kind of normal.
You're from a place that had Blockbuster for 20 years, and then it died. But don't worry, she's at the height of Blockbuster, so she'll be okay.
She peaked Blockbuster.
Man, she's going to be so freaking bummed when she comes back and she can't rent 16 candles.
Yeah, comes at the end. She comes back after Infinity War, like half the universe has been wiped out. No Blockbuster.
No, but her thing is going to be like, you know what? I know what can bring us together.
Anymore.
I know what can bring us together. Go pop some popcorn. I'll go get some Nerds rope. Those are gone. And I'll get some gumdrops, and we can watch 16 Candles. And go to the Blockbuster. I'll fly over to the Blockbuster and get it. uh-oh. I'm fine with that because I like the idea that she's rediscovering it. And then I like that self-discovery thing and that there's more to her story that you can explore with the Star Force.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're saying Star Wars if you say it too
Yeah.
quick. And to her origins on Earth, so it's not an
Also,
origin
why
story.
would the aliens call it Star? Whatever, it doesn't matter.
Because
No.
what if they operate inside a star? Bet you feel
That
bummed
would
about
be-
that. And I like a lot of the effects for her powers.
Agreed.
The only thing that that kind of part of the trailer, the dialogue was kind of meh.
Yeah.
It wasn't like super
Surprisingly,
interesting.
a lot of Nick Fury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was actually genuinely surprising. Like I'm like, I don't know why you're like front loading it so much. You can just have him be in, like, have it just be about her. That's
Yeah.
okay. Or have Jude Law talk maybe. I don't know. But I was surprised by her voice. I've heard Brie Larson speak before. It wasn't. I don't know why it surprised me when she started talking.
Because you see the images, it's something I have a little bit of concern about too, and it's something that I had to kind of get over with Captain America because Chris Evans is he has a younger for like the first movie. He was once he becomes Cap, reading the comics, Cap has this authority and this like weight and this like gravitas and this feeling of age.
Yeah.
Like he feels like somebody that should be in his mid 40s. And then you got like young spry Chris Evans running around. It's like I just don't know if it feels like Cap. And now 5 movies deep,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, Cap, that's Captain
It's
America.
just been 5, you poor child. We're 9 in.
One of him as Cap, the 3
I don't
count
know.
movies, the 2 Avengers, 3 Avengers, 6. I was 1 off.
Oh, you're right. I
Yeah.
thought he was. Sorry, maybe I think it's been more.
There it is.
Sorry, Iron Man's been in 20.
So, and to be fair, it's only voiceover with Brie Larson, but she comes on. It sounds like a middle schooler, like, "Hey, I'm Captain Marvel, and you don't know what." And it's like, oh, I expected more authority from your voice. Sam Jackson was just now, and I don't know. So we'll have to see in the movie. I don't know if I quite feel her as what I envision as Captain of Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I guess I never pictured her voice. It was just that was surprising, but her costume's dope and she looks
Yes.
awesome. And I'm excited that like the cinematography is so it's flipping a lot, and I like that because since it's a space story, and the score mirrors this as well because there's like an X-Files theme. You mentioned that it mirrors a different song, but for me watching it,
apparently it is a song, but I heard that. I did not know that myself.
for me, it felt like a mix between an Avengers superhero theme and X-Files. So you get
Yeah.
that, like an X-Files episode where it's like there are shapeshifters among us, and that's a
Yeah.
cool take for
Speaking
a superhero
of
movie.
shapeshifters, they barely touch. They do say there's threats you don't even know about, and then we cut to this of her just cold cocking an old woman in the face.
And
Hey, there's Coulson
and then
the
Holster.
beeper, and then you get mohawk hair. But I love her just punching that old woman because our job is to follow this news. So we know Skrulls, and we know Skrulls that are shapeshifters. And so we, being fans of this material and followers of the news, know that these are Skrulls and they're shapeshifters, and that's probably a Skrull. The trailer gives you none of that information. So if you're like a majority of Americans that just, new Marvel movie, why the hell is she just punching that old woman in the face? You know what I mean?
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I want to know why. Why
What's
is
that
she?
old woman
What's-
up to? That
You
harmless
didn't give
looking-
me my seat. I'm a veteran. Stand up now. You don't know. You don't know, and so I'm interested. Also, plenty of people are online like, everybody knows it's Skrulls, and everyone's like, sure.
Yeah.
Basically, everyone. These movies are so mainstream now. They'll figure it out in about 2
They
seconds.
will figure it out. It's
Yeah.
just maybe just don't assume.
You don't want to show the shapeshifting just yet. You got to save it.
Well, you don't want to show the shapeshifting just yet. The effects aren't done.
That's the real answer.
The effects aren't done.
But her effects for her powers, I really dig. It's
Yes.
like the energy is just like arcing off of her. Also, you see like you showed it in the last clip, but some blue energy like flying over her and kind of like fusing with her. So maybe when she was a pilot, she finds a crashed alien and
Yeah.
it just like a bomb goes off or something.
We see a spaceship. Maybe she gets sucked up. She sees them in space because she's in a plane. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see
Maybe
how
she
that all
goes to space. You don't know.
plays out. I'm interested to see more of Jude Law's probably Captain Marvel.
In his contacts.
Well, it's interesting that I saw a picture of an action figure of him, and so he's going to get the full helmet and everything, which is cool. And normally, I would assume that he's probably going to end up being shady, but I think fanboys, even though original Marvel is more obscure, fanboys would probably be up in arms about that. So I would be surprised if they go that route. And you already have Ronan, and he's got to break bad at some point.
Yeah, he's got to go all religious zealot.
Yeah, and I think Gemma Chan's character is supposed to be the villain of it, which will be interesting.
Minerva. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that means. We'll figure out.
She's great and crazy rich agent.
Or Skrulls are the villain.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on in this movie.
It's a busy one.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we have enough time to kind of sit in all of it. I'm excited for Coulson, looking all young and spry. Sam Jackson looking young and spry. Does his face get smaller, or is it just?
I mean, they got to do
he's bald
something
now,
with the
so
CG.
maybe
They got to do something with the CG. It looks good. My concern is that time and money spent on de-aging him. What could that have been spent on someplace else? What effect will we see watching the movie? Then, like, maybe instead of the face CG, maybe spend more time on this.
building wells in other countries.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know. Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels.
There's different things.
So-
but I'm fine with it. I think it's cool. I'm excited for it. But overall, the trailer is really cool.
Yeah,
I like
it's a cool
the
trailer,
score
cool tone.
and the cinematography really got me. And the I like the see how a Hero is born or something like that, where it's her and then Hero. I thought that was really cool branding of doing that. But my all-time favorite part of the entire trailer is when he holsters his beeper and it makes gun cocking sounds. Yeah, and I do like that you get to see her mohawk, which is cool.
Yeah,
and
although it doesn't necessarily
it's not necessary at all.
Why isn't the helmet covering that up?
But then you have to poke a hole in the original costume too, where it's like you didn't need the hair poking out. But hey, you got it, and I think it looks not bad.
No,
and
agreed.
it looks like she's actually wearing something too, which is cool. So, but yeah, the beeper getting holstered is.
And I like that because
great.
of Infinity War, they had to put a shot of that beeper in there.
We had to.
Fans get ready. Speaking of getting ready, there's been some talk. We've been working on a solo Joker movie for a minute.
Todd Phillips.
They've started shooting, and so there's some behind the scenes footage, some paparazzi photos. But Todd Phillips posted this picture of what is it, Arthur Fleck?
Yes.
Which I actually think is a pretty good. That's a good name.
Yeah.
I like that.
Affleck.
Yeah.
Yeah, A Fleck.
A Fleck, yeah,
I
perfect.
think Kevin Smith pointed that out, which is pretty
Perfect.
Great. He looks like the Joker, and he looks like he's had a rough go of it. Also, he looks like since this movie's the some of the rumblings was that it takes place kind of in the 80s.
Yes.
He looks like
if you look at the paparazzi photos, a lot of the cars are period.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
He looks like a sad 80s comedian.
Yes.
Like whatever you I'm going to be people can be mad at me about not getting this comedian's name right. Who did Jim Carrey play in that movie that made him kind of go a little crazy, and then they did a documentary about it recently?
Yeah.
Andy Kaufman.
Yes.
There are I see similarities. They don't look like the same person. I see similarities in that entire like aesthetic. So yeah. I get it. And I'm excited to see what Joaquin Phoenix actually does with the character and what Todd Phillips has going. I totally forgot that Todd Phillips is the guy who did the Hangover movies.
It's interesting because if you told me Todd Phillips is doing a standalone Joker movie, I'd be very meh about it. The fact that Joaquin Phoenix is involved makes me interested.
How would they get
part
him?
of it-
Because they've hit him up for so many different
I think
movies.
honestly, it's I don't have to sign up for 15 other movies. It's just this one. Cool.
Fine, I'll do one and you can leave me alone. I'll take this money.
Yeah, I'll take that superhero film, even though this is not one of the bigger budgeted ones.
Yeah, no, the budget's really small. They have a new person playing Papa Batman.
Yes.
Which I don't remember. Cullen, the first name Cullen. That's not the important part. The important part was the photo, and you saw some other photos as well.
Yes. Speaking of photos about upcoming movies that are highly anticipated.
Good segue. Also, ones we may not have remembered that they were actually happening.
Yeah. So I guess Space Jam 2 is officially happening.
And the craziest part is the producer.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler is producing it.
That's so cool.
Because he grew up in that generation too.
Yeah.
He saw the movie too. T. Nance is the director. Do you know anything about that?
Yes, I had the name, and it was. If you have the doc, you can pull it up. It's Terrence Nance, I believe. I don't have any other info because the Wi-Fi and where in which we are filming is
Terrence
shoddy.
Nance, yeah,
is shoddy as hell. So I couldn't pull up anything else. But LeBron James is a star, along with B Bunny. We'll figure out who that is.
Yeah,
there'll be teased Easter eggs for a while.
Exactly. But yeah, are you excited for this?
You know, I'm excited. I'm excited enough about it. Like, yeah, and I don't think I'm gonna hate this movie. Also, Space Jam's a kids movie, and it was wildly entertaining when we were kids because you're seeing characters that you watch in the WB interacting with your favorite actors or sports icons in one movie.
Your favorite actor, Michael Jordan.
Mike Jordan.
Listen, Ryan Coogler was producing this. If they don't have an interaction between Michael Jordan and Michael B. Jordan, missing out.
What are you doing?
Yeah, missed opportunity.
If Ryan Coogler's working on this, I hope Michael B. Jordan gets to show up in this movie in some way.
That actually would be a even better joke if they're like, and we're going to bring in Michael Jordan, and then Michael B. Jordan runs in. It's like, wait a second.
And who's his assistant? Michael
Jordan.
Jordan.
No,
There you
it
go. I
is.
wonder if Michael Jordan can actually have two jokes like that. I don't know. And then we'll see Michael Jordan playing baseball because that was the whole point of the Space Jam movie. Was he's like, no more basketball.
Yeah.
I'm only baseball now.
Yeah.
Which is a weird time in his career.
Yeah, it sure was.
And Looney Tunes aren't like quite like they're making actually new Looney Tunes because near a place where we go shoot our stuff, we can drive by the Warner Brothers Center and you can see that giant poster for new Looney Tunes cartoons.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Hopefully kids are kind of aware and they're excited about it. I think LeBron James is obviously going to be the one that pulls people into that movie. And I'm very excited for that. I think he's actually been in a movie before, but I'm blanking on what I saw him in.
Oh, who's to say?
Who could say?
Oh, wasn't he in that? Whatever, doesn't matter.
See, exactly.
So switching from movies to TV, we've gotten some cool teases and stuff like that. I think the earliest one was we got some photos of, and I think we might have talked about that last week. Some photos of Jason Todd interacting with Dick Grayson.
Sorry, I could not smile.
What are we?
Leave
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's sleeping.
It's sleeping.
You don't want to wake it.
We just moved in, guys. We're trying to figure it all out.
No, but Jason Todd, we got teased with Dick Grayson's Robin. We saw photos, but then we got a clip about it.
And I actually really liked the clip. I thought their interaction was really funny.
Look at that jaw on that kid.
Yeah, he's got something going on there.
He looks like the Crimson Chin. I know you didn't watch Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, two good-looking boys there, and so their interaction, it's really Jason Todd is like the second kid. He's getting away with stuff. Like they said, he's getting away with stuff that Dick Grayson couldn't get away with.
Did you ever watch Ed, Edd and Eddy?
I tried to a couple times.
It's a weird show.
For me.
As a kid, it kind of washed over me. You know, you don't really absorb it. He looks like Double D. Eddie.
Okay.
Ed with the 2 Ds.
There you go.
Just saying, if you want to do live action Cartoon Network,
hey,
I got you a boy.
But one, I think this is I really liked the impression I got, interestingly, of Dick Grayson's character in this. It really gives me a better sense of what his headspace is right now.
He's a good actor, Brenton Thwaites.
Wait, you get to drive the Batmobile? Yeah. And he's like, yeah, whatever. You know what I mean? And it's a cool. I think it's I am more tonally interested in that than fuck Batman. You know what I mean? So for me, this got me excited to watch the show when it premieres next month.
It does, and I will say about this: when two people are having a serious conversation about who gets to drive the Batmobile, it becomes. I was like,
it's
oh,
not a
silly.
serious conversation. It's a fun. It is silly, but it's a fun conversation.
Oh, it's serious. He's like, wait. Dad didn't let me drive the Batmobile. It's very serious. Yeah. It's deadly serious. Because if this is preceding what Dick Grayson does, what we saw in the trailer, he throws a bit of a tantrum about it. That dude won't be able to talk or eat after that. But let's talk about another DC show because the crossover later this year for the CW shows is going to be between Supergirl, Flash, Arrow.
And I like that it's smaller scale, but it's still epic because we're going to Gotham. And we got an interesting casting announcement with Nora Freeze.
Wow.
Who is being played by Cassandra Jean Amell. And if you're like, well, wait, isn't there an Amell on the other shows?
And
yes.
No, there's not. No.
But
it means nothing to you. It could be the lead of Arrow.
Yeah, it could be his wife. And what interests me about this is people are speculating whether this means Mr. Freeze will be in the show. I'm wondering if they're going to adjust things a little bit and have her be an antagonist for, like, have Nora Freeze take up her husband's mantle to be a villain and be an antagonist for Batwoman.
Interesting.
Kind of like they did with Lex Luthor's mom. You know what I mean? She became a villain in Supergirl.
And she was good. I liked her.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, those kind of like switching roles around a little bit. I would imagine they're not going to pretend Mr. Freeze doesn't exist in this universe, but maybe maybe he's been taken down by Batman, so Nora Freeze wakes up and she's like, wait, fuck Batman.
There now we get the F bombs dropped. No, I'm excited. She is a good actress. I've seen her in bit parts on, I think it was a crime show. It was like a lawyer show. Blanking on it now, but I'm excited to see her as well as Lois Lane because I actually really like this actress. I watched Grimm. I did the work that none of you were willing to do. You didn't put the blood, sweat, and tears into that show.
Elizabeth Tulloch,
yes,
I think is how you pronounce it.
That is her name, and
she looks like Lois Lane.
Yeah, she was the lead on Grimm, and she's actually married to the lead of Grimm.
Yeah.
Who sounds like an Italian dish when I say his name, and I don't want to mess it up on camera. Yeah. But I'm excited to see Lois, and we're going to get Tyler Hoechlin and Lois in a couple scenes together, probably.
I'm a fan of that, and it'll be interesting. Also, it might be worth mentioning that apparently there was a leak of Batman costume tests that people are assuming are for Titans, that he might show up. But I gotta wonder. It's like, well, could it also be for Batwoman? You got Superman showing up, like it's. I don't know. It'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be a fun surprise.
No.
And I could see them doing that, and also them getting extremely annoyed that they're like, please don't leak this. Just can we have one damn surprise?
Can we have one thing for ourselves for
Please,
once in our lives?
Please let us tell a story without all of you ruining it. Please.
Well, you're welcome. We just did that for you.
Yeah. Hey, don't worry. That's why you subscribe to this channel. But let's talk about another show that we love. It's near and dear to our hearts that could be making a return. If you guys aren't familiar with this flying cow right here with the 6 legs, that's Appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which has been confirmed this week by Netflix to be getting a live-action adaptation from the original showrunners coming back. Yeah. DJ has specific feelings about this, and they're different from mine.
Yeah, I don't need it, man. I don't see. Here's my opinion on it. The original Avatar series is perfect. You know what I mean? You can't. There's zero. I can perceive of zero realities where the live action version could be better or even as good. It will be a less good version, even if it is leagues ahead of the movie. Mm-hmm. It can only be a less good version of the animated series. So why do it?
Because they had wanted to do it originally, and then they did an anime version of it.
And you nailed it, and you stick with that. Because think about the action in that show and how specifically it flows with the way animation works. Mm-hmm. Have you seen any live action show come close to that?
Game of Thrones.
In action?
Yeah.
In like the flow and the energy and the balletic nature of it?
Iron Fist. Daredevil. No, but seriously, like, let's see what these showrunners are willing to do. There's them doing this changes the thing that I love in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I'd rather see them do an animated sequel or prequel and do with a different avatar.
I would like that too.
Yeah,
because I also read the comics that had nothing to do with those writers, and they were. Personally, for me, I read the Korra one. I didn't read the Avatar one or the Aang one, which I heard was pretty good. The Korra one was a little rough for me to read, which bummed me out because I was like, I was so excited to find out what they were going to do in the spirit world, and it's really nothing.
Yeah, I try to avoid those comics and stuff because usually it's just glorified fan fiction, basically.
The season 11 of Angel, Smallville, and whatnot. But for me, I'm very excited about it because I'm excited to see who they envision to play these characters and where they can go with different directors.
Yeah,
and just to remember, M. Night Shyamalan, as far as we know, has a producing role in this. So
does he?
Well, you tweeted that.
No,
to me.
I joked to you. That was a joke.
Well, I've been telling people that. You awful
no, it was a joke.
man.
That was a joke.
You spoiled this for me. I have to delete some tweets. You awful person. You awful man.
He might be. I would just be genuinely surprised.
Awful man. Bad man.
It was supposed to explain to you why I'm not excited about this because we tried this before and it didn't work.
I'm upset with you. I have nothing to worry about this show. Then I'm excited about it. I'm gonna love it, and you can see my reviews about it.
It would need so much money, to be successful.
You ever seen a Netflix? They get all the money.
No, they don't. Those Netflix Marvel shows have such a comparatively low budget.
Yeah, that's why this is
to normal TV.
That's why this one's just gonna be in the water temple.
Even Altered Carbon, which is one of their most expensive shows, has moments of like, it's a TV show.
Damn. Well, what if it's okay. We'll have to wait and see what they do.
We'll have to wait and see.
Speaking of waiting and seeing, because this is probably going to take a very long time to pop up, but
if it ever does,
let's take a look at this asset because ABC has announced that they are developing here. This is really preliminary terms for what kind of show, where they're at right now. But they're talking about developing a female-led Marvel TV show for their network, which is interesting. It's going to be an hour-long format. And also, Alan Heinberg, who wrote Wonder Woman, has been tapped to write it. And also, he's worked with Marvel before in the past, DJ was talking about. But I'm actually really excited about this idea. What has Alan worked on in the past?
Yeah, he created the Young Avengers. He wrote the Young Avengers comic.
It's super cool. Also, good magic trick. If anyone caught it.
Hopefully they didn't. Hopefully it's just,
Good thing I pointed out. That's what every magician loves.
So female-centric, which is, I wonder what characters it could be.
Women.
Like, just because a lot of the...
You know who I want? Actually, your image was a really good idea of who could be really cool in that role. Jennifer Walters would be a really cool hour-long procedural.
100%.
Her job leads to a procedural since she's a lawyer.
Yeah, and Jessica Drew's in there. Spider-Woman was in that photo as well. She'd be really cool. There's a lot of really cool characters. I just feel like to make a team of them, right? Because that's the impression, is that it's like a team or
It's
just
female
one?
led. No,
Okay,
because
all right.
here's the thing: is it's really preliminary. The
Yeah.
idea was the ideas of teams and individually led shows were thrown out there, but there's not. It's nothing
I
right
would
now.
love Mockingbird to come back, but that actress is on another show right now.
And she's having a great time. It looks like
Good
doing
for her.
doing Orville. But she could show up, and also Jessica Drew could be cool because you could get, if we were to theorize, Jessica Drew
Yeah.
could get like spy treatment because she does spy shows
Yeah.
or spy missions. Sometimes she's an agent of Hydra or Shield or whatever. Because sometimes
Tough to say.
when you don't know how to write a character, you're like the spy. It will just make you a spy. It'll make it a lot easier.
Yes.
But it's so preliminary. We want to know what you guys think. So let us know in the comments down below. But our other big story, and this is a report, basically a rumor, because Marvel and Disney haven't, based on the
not
articles I
confirmed
read,
this. Yeah, I
they haven't
think-
even responded in any
No.
way. But for the Disney app, which tentatively was named Disney Play, throw that out the window because that's not right. But the
No.
Disney app coming later, 2019, there's some rumors that the MCU could be dipping their toes into it.
There's talk that they are developing spin-off shows of their movies, of characters in their movies, specifically ones for Loki.
Yeah.
And with Tom Hiddleston in the role.
Yes.
And Scarlet Witch with Elizabeth Olsen in the role, which is really interesting. I think it's well, to me, when I first read that article, my thoughts were initially interesting, smart way to get people on the app, and also what a big fuck you to the Marvel Netflix shows.
I didn't take it that way, but talking about just these shows specifically first before we talk about the Netflix
Yes.
shows, that I think it's cool that you're getting the main actors in, since it's Disney and they have the money to do that.
Oh, also,
These
it's
will
worth noting that Kevin Feige would be producing these shows,
Which is cool.
because he made a break from to where he directly answers to Disney, so he doesn't have to deal with like Perlmutter over at Marvel TV and comics. That's what he runs. So Jeff Loeb answers to that. So this would be within Kevin Feige's purview, like the movies are.
Cool. I would be down for a Scarlet Witch, and here comes a yawn.
Hear it? Let it out.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
Scarlet Witch needs more time to grow as a character in the MCU and giving her her own adventures, which could be through her going back to like Eastern Europe, and you see her traveling around there and kind of dealing. But basically, what I would want for her is dealing with magics and dealing with her own powers and getting trained by someone. You could bring in plenty of other side characters that you've never touched in any show or movie that are important to her.
But see, now just this second, I'm starting to go down a rabbit hole of characters that I think would do better in this environment than in movies. Like instead of Doctor Strange 2, do a 6-episode limited series on the Disney app.
Well, you could do that with any character. You could say you could.
But
do
you know what I
that.
mean? Like I just feel like having seen his movie, he might be better suited for.
Maybe but he's already too big. He's got his solo thing. But her getting her own like led show is pretty cool, and I would like to see her dealing with magic, and also you could deal with more powered people, and seeing her go up against them could be really interesting, and them exploring her powers because they're so different from comics, because it's not really magic. But if you wanted to kind of dive into that, give it 6 episodes to live in like that world.
Because it's also important to note that they're talking about the episodes being the series being like 6 to 8 episodes.
Perfect.
And also, it's definitely going to be people that do not have solo projects. So none of your Caps or Iron Mans or any of that.
But there's no reason why they couldn't pop
supporting-
up.
They could pop up, but it's only supporting characters like Loki, Scarlet Witch. Those are the two specific ones. Although people have mentioned Falcon, War Machine. You mentioned a character that I think a lot of people would be very excited about.
No, I think this might be the smartest move, also based on the popularity of this character. But yeah, go ahead, throw up Shuri, because wouldn't it be cool to see her? She explores the United States, or she explores Europe, or you just get her in Wakanda, whatever.
Yeah.
You have her exploring the world, because she hasn't. She hasn't at all. The only time we've seen her outside of Wakanda is at the very end of Black Panther, when she's in Oakland and she's helping out that facility, which is interesting. So you could have a
She's
story
very
of her.
popular. People want more of her.
Yeah.
Like
They made Halloween costumes for her, like outfit when she's in battle, and for the ceremony that you can get at the Disney store now.
Yeah.
Like, you should really bank on these characters. Also, you could introduce characters, and we don't have an asset for this, but if you were like, what if we got ahead of the MCU a little bit and we start introducing Miss Marvel now, Kamala Khan, you could have a lot of fun doing 6 episodes.
especially if you had her incorporated in something like if they made a Champions movie or a Young Avengers movie where she would be part of an ensemble.
Yeah.
And you have a part of this. It really is smart for the Disney app. This would get a lot of Marvel fans immediately on board. I would like to suggest personally, if you're going to do some of these spin-offs of supporting characters, you got to do more Jeff Goldblum Grandmaster.
What's the stories though? What would
It's
you
just
want?
kind of like that short where he was hanging out. What's the roommate, Daryl?
Daryl.
Yeah,
Team
stuff
Daryl.
like that, where he's just trying to live a normal life. It'd be great to have him, with half his kingdom after the Thanos snap, half his kingdom wiped out. He's just trying to learn how to function as an entity on his own. You know what I mean?
I don't know if he has like magic or anything.
Maybe-
I don't know why he has power at all.
Yeah, him hanging out with his brother, the Collector. You know
There
what I
you
mean? Classic. But so you said that you didn't perceive it as kind of a screw you to the Netflix shows.
No, and also just because like that drama stuff, since it's like that's none of my business and I don't know anything about that, and they're still able to make new shows.
Yeah.
It's dumb that there is drama like that going on.
Yeah.
But I don't see it that way because they can still make these shows and they can still make and play with these characters. Because you could say that about any of the new shows like coming out, like Cloak and Dagger directly is like attached to the Netflix shows, and they've referenced like Tony Stark and other like MCU characters. Now,
but
so.
I think this more clearly shows the division of Kevin Feige will not play with these TV shows, even though they pretend like they're part of the universe. They're really not, and it cements to. I think he is trying to. It would not surprise me if he's trying to wait out these shows. He's like, yeah, so like 5 years from now, there won't be a Daredevil show. And we'll introduce Daredevil as a movie or one of these shows on the Disney app, and that'll be our Daredevil.
Well, I'm not.
You know what I mean? And then it won't necessarily negate the Netflix shows, but we're just going to pretend like it never happened.
It is what it is because
Yeah.
like there's plenty of people out there that like older superhero properties and they like the characters that they've seen. Like I don't think anyone got super attached to the younger versions of all the X-Men we saw in Apocalypse. They're like, oh, we're kind of like the older ones more.
Yeah.
Basically, and I know whatever the division is, it doesn't bug me at all.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to see what they could do with that Disney money. I missed my finger.
Yeah, and apparently they're planning on pumping in a lot of money into these shows so that they match up with the movies.
Do you think Disney has that kind of money though?
Who's to say?
Who's to say?
Yeah, I think if that's going to be the way it is, I wish these other shows would stop pretending like they're a part of the MCU and just do their own thing. Like, well, if they're going to do that, let's introduce our own TV Cap. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, why not? You know what I mean?
TV Spider-Man.
To hang out with Daredevil?
Just have run around with him.
And it's tough too because on the one hand, from a business aspect, I understand why you would. Business wise, it doesn't actually make sense. It's definitely petty bullshit. But if you're trying to wait out that aspect, the problem is a lot of those Netflix characters. It's like you're not going to get a better Punisher than John Bernthal. I just can't conceive of somebody doing better than that. Like Charlie Cox as Daredevil. It's like there will be a whole generation of people. Not that I think maybe Kevin Feige's chomping at the bit to incorporate Jessica Jones into his MCU, but like that is Kristen Ritter is Jessica Jones to a generation of people. You know what I mean?
And Charlie Cox too. He's
Yeah.
more than Ben Affleck is.
Yeah.
And so I get it. And you couldn't. Finn Jones is our Danny man, and that's something you're going to have to live with.
We have to live with for the rest. The comics are going to have to live with that.
But
Everybody's
Colleen
just-
Wing and other characters like that, and Misty
Yeah.
Knight, like they really did a good job casting a lot of those characters. So there are some bummers, but also there's plenty of properties we've watched where they've reincorporated old actors who have played that role into a different role.
Which I think, especially if that ends up happening, again, it would be with the tone of the MCU proper. Incorporating Punisher into that is a little challenging.
Yep.
But I could see them bringing in John Bernthal if it comes out from under the Netflix wing.
Here's a pitch. A Punisher has to hunt down Loki, and that's how you get your crossover.
That would be kind of dope.
A trickster versus the Punisher.
There's definitely a comic writer that has pitched that script to Marvel Comics to try and make the comic of that. And I'd read it. If I'm being honest, I'd read it.
I'd read the first issue.
Yeah, but it'd be cool. I hope these Disney shows do incorporate other characters. I honestly, even though it is kind of weird drama stuff, I kind of hope I think this is a neat idea. And I do hope somehow we do get some of these because I do love Daredevil and Punisher and Jessica Jones and Luke Cage so much as characters and as they're portrayed in these shows. There's still part of me that holds out hope that somehow they get to play together.
Me too. I would also, a War Machine show is also super interesting, and
Maybe a War Machine Falcon buddy show because they started creating rapport in Infinity War. One of them got erased.
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
No, but they could have a really cool show, and I would like a Falcon show as well. There's a lot of cool characters that you could play with that haven't had their own adventures. Also, well, we're getting a Scarlet Witch, Black Widow. Sorry, I was thinking Redhead. We're getting a her
Hawkeye
own movie.
is somebody that's been mentioned, and
Hawkeye
he
would
said,
be cool.
He said he's been down to do a show, and it'd be interesting. I mean, Hawkeye as he is in the movies, it could be kind of weird. But if you were able to do something like Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run, it'd be dope.
Where I would love to see him training like a Kate Bishop. That would be
I think it'd be
cool.
really cool to see Kate Bishop in these movies, and I think if you were going to do a Hawkeye anything, that's the way to do it. That's the way to use Jeremy Renner's Hawkeye as a mentor towards Kate Bishop.
And we haven't talked about the new Warriors that never got picked up by Freeform. That could be a show that gets picked up by the Disney app.
And also some of those characters could get incorporated in this female-led ABC show. Maybe Squirrel Girl could be a part of that.
And maybe Runaways does something that has anything to do with Marvel at all, because they haven't mentioned the MCU even a little bit in that TV show.
I don't need to talk about Runaways.
Well, Runaways is there, and we can't move away from it. Cloak and Dagger. Anyways, guys, let us know
Cloak
what
and
you
Dagger's
guys
better
think.
than Runaways.
It is, but you're a coward, and you didn't finish that whole season, did you?
No.
Tell us the truth.
No.
No, you didn't. It's okay. I like that show. But guys, let us know what kind of show you would want on this Disney streaming app, and which characters from the MCU would you want to see, or would you want new characters getting their own shows, and then maybe they kind of whittle their way into the MCU proper. Like, what if you had, here's a pitch, you had young characters getting their own individual shows, like what they pitched for Netflix, like they get their own individual shows, but then you get a Champions movie where they all come together.
It's like a Disney Channel movie, but it's on the Disney app.
Yep.
Anyway, not only that, so we're going to be in Fantastic Fest for the next few days. Stay tuned for more content from that. If you're on Patreon, you're going to get early and exclusive content from that.
Just for you.
Yeah, and then we'll be talking about cool, awesome, obscure movies while we're here in Austin. So stay tuned for more of that coming soon.
But go to onlystupidanswers.com for all other information. Patreon.com/onlystupidanswers, at DJ Talk Trash, at Sam Basher.
Oh, yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so you stay up to date. Also, write nice things about the Airbnb we're in, because, boy howdy, on the podcast, I have a story to tell to you. It's going to be, I'm embarrassed, but you're going to enjoy it. Any final thoughts?
That's it. Take care. See you soon.
We love you, and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Click.